Welcome to another episode of American Outdoors. Today we are diving into the world of organic grass-fed beef. We will be analyzing its impact on both the food industry and the consumer, and how it compares with traditional store-bought grain-fed beef. Before we dig into the specifics of grass-fed cattle, it is important to note that not all grass-fed cows are raised the same. Some grass-fed cattle are raised in a lot-pasture combination, but fed grass only. So how should we define a grass-fed cow? According to the USDA, the standards to qualify for grass-fed are the animal must eat grass and forage exclusively after weaning and have continuous access to pastures during the growing season. What the USDA doesn't specify is how much feed must be from a field. A true grass-fed cow will spend their life roaming for grass in open fields. Before industrial farming, this was the way cows lived. Because of their natural roaming lifestyle, these cows do not require antibiotics or growth hormones to thrive, but we'll touch on that again later in the video. Each year, the average American adult consumes around 80 pounds of beef. When comparing grass-fed organic beef to conventional store-bought beef, there are several key differences in terms of nutrition, environmental impact, animal welfare, and cost. Let's begin with diet and farming practices. Grass-fed beef cows are raised on a diet of pasture and forage throughout their lives, as opposed to grain-based diets used in commercial feedlots. Organic beef is produced without synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, antibiotics, or growth hormones. Organic practices also prohibit the use of genetically modified organisms known as GMOs. Being raised in a more natural environment where they can move and feed freely leads to healthier livestock as well as more sustainable farming methods. Conventional store-bought beef. Most conventional beef comes from cows fed a diet primarily composed of grain, such as corn and soy, in confined feedlots, which helps them gain weight quickly. Conventional beef production often involves the use of antibiotics to prevent disease in crowded feedlots, as well as hormones to promote faster growth. So what are some of the nutritional differences? Well, with grass-fed beef, it contains significantly higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids, which are beneficial for heart health and reducing inflammation. Its fatty acid profile typically has a healthier ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids compared to grain-fed beef. Grass-fed beef also tends to be leaner, with less overall fat content compared to grain-fed beef. Grass-fed beef has a higher concentration of fat-soluble vitamins. The predominant monounsaturated fatty acid in beef is known as oleic acid. For those unaware, oleic acid is also commonly referred to as the heart-healthy fatty acid in olive oil. It is also worth noting that grass-fed beef contains more antioxidants like vitamin E and higher levels of certain vitamins, such as vitamin A. Now, when discussing conventional store-bought beef, we have previously mentioned that it is higher in total fat. On one hand, that can lead to a richer, more flavorful taste, but the meat may also contain more saturated fats. Also, the omega-3 content is lower in grain-fed beef, while containing higher levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which in excess can contribute to inflammation. Since grass-fed organic beef is leaner, it can have a firmer texture and may require more careful cooking to avoid drying out. Grass-fed beef tends to have a more distinct, slightly rich, earthy flavor, as it reflects the animal's natural diet. So because it is leaner, grass-fed beef cooks faster and can become tough if overcooked. It's often best cooked at lower temperatures or with shorter cooking times, searing the meat to seal in the juices. The higher fat content of conventional store-bought beef gives it a richer, more buttery flavor and tender texture, which many consumers prefer. And with more marbling, grain-fed beef tends to be more forgiving during cooking and can stay juicy even when cooked at higher temperatures. Feedlot calves begin their lives on pasture with the cow that produced them. They're weaned after 6 to 9 months. After they're finished for about 120 days on high-energy corn, and other grains in a feedlot, gaining weight fast and creating that fat, marbled beef that consumers like. At about 14 to 18 months of age, they are sent to slaughter. It is worth mentioning that an excess diet of corn can lead to liver abscesses in cattle, which is one reason why animals who eat it receive antibiotics in their feed. A cattle-dense feedlot can lead to significant environmental issues, such as water pollution and soil degradation. Producing grain to feed cattle is considered resource-heavy. Even though the cattle are confined to a small area, their food requires a lot of water, energy, and land. Grass-fed systems, especially those that are organic, are often more sustainable. In that scenario, cattle graze their entire lives on natural pasture, which can support biodiversity and improve soil health through rotational grazing practices. Since their feed is lower energy, they usually aren't sent to slaughter until 18 to 24 months of age. A full-size grass-fed cow's weight is typically 1,200 pounds, or about 150 pounds less than one that is grain-fed. The cost per pound for grass-fed beef is currently about $2.50 more than grain-fed grocery store beef. Why is there such a disparity in price? There are several explanations, including slower growth rates, lower weights and yields, the need for larger grazing areas, as well as the perceived benefit of added nutrition, animal welfare, and concern for the environment. These husbandry practices are designed to create a better, more rounded product while giving a better life to the animals. Organic beef may not be as widely available in all grocery stores, though it can often be found at specialty shops, farmers markets, or through direct-from-farm purchases. There are some supermarkets that may carry grass-fed or organic options. So, to summarize, grass-fed organic beef is generally considered a healthier and more sustainable option, offering higher levels of beneficial nutrients, a more humane approach to farming, and a reduced environmental impact. However, it is typically more expensive and has a different flavor and texture than conventional beef. Conventional, store-bought beef, while more affordable and accessible, may come with concerns regarding animal welfare, environmental impact, and lower nutritional value compared to grass-fed beef. Ultimately, the choice depends on your priorities regarding health, sustainability, cost, and taste. Thanks for watching American Outdoors. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and feel free to post your questions and comments below. Like and subscribe, and check us out on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. We'll see you again next time.